On the profile interview segments this week, I'll be speaking with the National President of the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, who also doubles as the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria President. He brings us up to speed on several activities at the ILO conference, while emphasizing the need for workers, employers of labor, and governments to participate in conferences like this. It's good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharon.
112th ILO conference in Geneva, Switzerland.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what your experience has been so far towards ensuring that there is social justice and decent wage?
Yes, every year this is one conference that labor organizations, trade unions, employers, and government look forward to share experiences, to share knowledge, and to break into committees and subcommittees so that we will come up with a common position on several and ranging issues. Yeah, so this year issues bordering on decent work and social justice. Decent work, it has been championed by ILO for a very long time, and a lot of successes have been recorded in terms of decent work in some countries. I would say, probably in some continent, but a place like Europe, literally, they've been able to combat issues that are bordering on decent work. So the level of indecent work in that continent has reduced compared to a place like Africa, compared to a place like South America, and if you go to countries like India, you go to countries, even countries like China, you still have lots of jobs that are not decent. So ILO continuously promote decent work, and I think this year as well we'll come up with a collective position that will better entrench and better attract government all over the world and employers all over the world to move away from indecent work and to gravitate much more towards decent work. So the experience has been quite good. Meeting colleagues, meeting friends from different parts of the world is quite interesting.
Many people always argue about the essence of workers even participating in a conference like this. Would you want to enlighten Nigerians about the need for workers to engage in such conferences?
It's very good to engage in such conferences. Like you talked about a committee. So if you participate in such committee, you are meeting people from diverse backgrounds. You are meeting people from different continents, from different countries. And you are meeting people as well with different level of experiences. Because you may be facing some challenges in your home country. You may be facing some challenges in your trade unions or in some of the affiliates in the centers. You may not clearly understand how to deal with those issues. But when you come to conferences like this, you listen to others. The issues that you could think that these are big issues could be issues that others may have resolved years back. So tapping from their experiences, learning from their knowledge, and putting heads together and defining a better path forward is quite good. So I think the importance of conferences like this should not be underscored, or rather should be underscored and notified, because it is really important for us to continuously participate in such conference. So anybody that thinks it's just a jamboree, they should have a rethink, because this is one conference. In fact, this is like the Christmas of labor movement all over the world, because you come here, you learn, you meet friends, you peer review mechanisms, you review where you are, you learn from others, and it's quite good.
Okay, talking about the conference, during the conference, of course, there's been this continuous discussion about social justice.
Yes.
And we know that we can't achieve social justice without decent pay. Back at home, we know that there is this conversation about the new national minimum wage and what the price should be or the cost should be. Whatever the case may be, can you tell us what are some of the clauses that would help the presidency and workers when it comes to what can be a living wage? What are the parameters of things that government can do to alleviate the sufferings of the people?
Yes, currently in Nigeria, we are faced with socio-economic challenges. Today, the cost of literally everything has gone above the roof. If you look at cost of food, cost of transportation and all that, they've all gone up. If you look at the level of inflation that we have today as a country, it has gone haywire. So currently, these are the challenges. So now discussing the issue of minimum wage within this context will naturally be difficult, will naturally be explosive. So where we have found ourselves today is having a conversation on minimum wage in this kind of environment. And just as you've clearly said, it is very difficult for you to talk about the issue of social justice when people are not adequately remunerated. So the remuneration is key to whatsoever that you do. So from the part of labor, we were advocating and pushing for issues that are bordering on living wage, that we should be paid a living wage. But from the side of government and the organized private sector, they also said that no, that what we are to discuss, that the law that has expired that we are to discuss is minimum wage, that is not about living wage. So these
are you
two
looking
arguments,
at the possibility of maybe making it maybe a yearly conversation,
yes.
not maybe 4 or 5 years?
Yes. It's
What
one
can
of the
be done
push
in
we
terms
had.
of the
One of the
legislative
push that we've had. You know, the tripartite committee is supposed to meet, advise Mr. President. But Mr. President will now submit the result from the tripartite committee to the National Assembly. But the work of the tripartite committee, after concluding that work, we could not agree on what a common term would be, so we submitted 250,000 naira, then 62,000 naira from the organized private sector and government, so to the president. So the president is expected to now transmit that to the National Assembly, where the law of debate will now take place. But more importantly, because of the level of inflation that we are facing today as a country, because of the fact that our micro and macro economics is not adding up today, because of the fact that we are facing challenges brought about by both the monetary and fiscal policies of government. So waiting for another 5 years, we don't even know where we are going to be. We don't know what the purchasing power is going to be. We don't know where the consumer price index is going to be. So because of all these, we are advocating that the minimum wage act should last for 2 years maximum. Worst case scenario, it should not exceed 3 years. So that is our target, that is our push, and we'll constantly strive to ensure that we achieve that.
Talking about welfare of workers, I remember very clearly less than a month ago, Trade Union Congress, which you're the president, Southwest actually had a conference, like a summit, where different issues were actually discussed. Particularly, the issue of pension was of utmost importance for workers in that region. Can you tell us, is this going to be a yearly summit? Are you looking forward to ensuring that similar summits happen across the geopolitical zones?
Yes, I don't want to take much credit for that summit. It's actually the brainchild of the Southwest Zonal Chairman, led by the Chairman of Lagos, and ably supported by the Chairman of Oyo, the Chairman of Ogun, Ondo, Ekiti, Osun. You know, so they came together and put that summit together. I was invited, so we gave them moral support from behind, but it was actually their brainchild. And I hope that the summit should be on a yearly basis, because we should not be tired of Jojo. We should not be tired of having summits, having conferences, having conversations. And when some summits are held, we push the outcome of those summits to government. We push the outcome to those in authority, to employers, both in private and the public sector. So I commended greatly the efforts by the Southwest Chairman to put that summit together and to talk about the issues of pension. You know, recently we've been having a lot of hula baloo regarding the pension, how government is going to take the pension fund and put in some areas that are not so clear. So bringing workers together to discuss about their future, because pension is actually the future of the workers. Because by the time you finish, after 35 years or 60 years of age, and there is nothing to fall back on, it becomes a problem, it becomes a challenge. So that is why, as you work today, you have to place an eye on the pension. So for us, it's key. So that summit was quite apt. Yes, we will encourage them to ensure that it should be annual. I know putting things like that together is difficult financially, you know, you need to put a lot of resources together, but we encourage them to make it annual. I also encourage other zones. I think the Port Harcourt, the Rivers Chairman listening to me now, we encourage other zones as well to do the same, to within their group, within the geopolitical zones, we come out and we look for issues that are tying us together within that zone. We advocate, we push, and we submit the results to government. So we encourage that.
Okay, finally, what would be your message to Nigerian workers at this time?
Yes, I wish to, first of all, commiserate with Nigerian workers. I'm commiserating with them because of the current economic challenges that they are facing today in Nigeria. But they should also be hopeful, because a man without hope, life is a bit difficult without hope. So I encourage them to be hopeful that better days surely will be ahead. And we, the leaders of trade unions in Nigeria, will continuously strive to ensure that their lives are much more better. Then beyond the current minimum wage that we are talking about, across various affiliates, Pengasan, Fortop, most especially those in the organized private sectors, there are collective bargaining agreement going on. For example, Pengasan, within the last 1 year, we have put in place over 30, 40 collective bargaining agreements that have increased the welfare packages for workers. In some places, we put in place 100% salary increment. In some places, 150% salary increment. And for an oil and gas worker in Nigeria, you know what that means. So we'll continue in that strive. So on a daily basis, we'll continuously fight to ensure that the welfare and the issues bothering Nigerian workers are in the front burner.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.